I was told to get here really early, and I think I got here too early.
Wary of potential travel troubles, but we talked to passengers at DIA who found none on the day before Thanksgiving.
Call it a weather trouble. Still, no snow for Denver. Even if you saw some flakes falling, our meteorologists explain why it didn't actually count.
The Broncos coming back off the bye, ready to host the Chargers this weekend at Empower Field. Our Broncos insider joins us to break down what we can expect from this team that's 5-5 so far this season. 4 o'clock at 9 News starts now. As we get to 4 o'clock, we begin with breaking news. An Amber Alert's been issued for a missing 13-year-old girl. Takira Blackman was last seen yesterday afternoon in Aurora.
She may have been abducted. Investigators believe an adult was involved in enticing her from her home. She was last seen walking yesterday in Aurora on North Joliet Street. That's just east of Havana Street and north of East 1st Avenue. Takira is 4'9". Aurora police say she was last seen wearing a green and black sweater. She had white floral pajama bottoms. If you see her, you're asked to call 911. This is a developing story, so we do have a crew working to gather more information for you on this. We'll keep you updated on air, also on our website, 9news.com.
Well, from New York to Chicago, Dallas to Denver, tens of millions of people making the trip this week. Many hitting the road, but millions more are flying. And for some, it's the first time since the pandemic began.
Today is expected to be the busiest travel day of the week until Sunday, when the number of flyers could exceed pre-pandemic levels. Noel Brennan is live at DIA. And Noel, this is what we want to hear. You didn't find any real travel troubles, just peace, love, and turkey.
Yeah, well, Alex, maybe it had something to do with the fact that so many of us didn't travel last Thanksgiving, but everyone we talked to today was in good spirits, and it helped that security lines were actually moving today. Knowing that people had places to go, we kept our conversations brief today, just about the length of an escalator ride.
This time of year, travel always escalates.
We're going to Chicago to see my family.
I'm from Cheyenne and we're going to Las Vegas.
Are you guys excited for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Are you excited for Thanksgiving?
203,000 people passing through DIA in a single day. Sounds rough.
That's why we're here early.
But feels surprisingly smooth.
Like an escalator.
Like an escalator.
Not as bad as we expected. We're 3 hours early.
I was told to get here really early, and I think I got here too early, to be honest.
Any one of the more than 2 million people braving travel through the airport this week prepared for the ups?
No, not too stressful.
And downs.
I was expecting chaos. I was expecting I'm not going to say a curse word. I was going to say a show, but that's probably not. Never mind.
A mob scene, honestly. I was expecting lines wrapped around the building, so this is a pleasant surprise.
DIA says travel is up 2.7% this week compared to the same week in 2019, pre-pandemic.
It's a little busy, but not too bad.
She loves going to see the grandparents. She comes back about 2 pounds heavier every year.
Finding an open parking spot might be the toughest leg of the journey. But at least one smooth ride is guaranteed.
It wasn't too bad. It was a pretty nice ride. So again, parking was probably the biggest hurdle that we saw today. I got to tell you right now that both garages are full, as is the West Economy lot. So just keep that in mind if you're headed out to the airport tonight and you've got a flight to catch.
Noel, how many times have you ridden that escalator today?
Too many to count, Alex. Too many to count.
He is the mayor of the escalator out at DIA, Noel Brennan. All right, Noel, we'll see you coming up at 5 o'clock.
Let's get you a live look outside on this Wednesday, where it may be cloudy, a little gray, but generally pretty decent travel weather. Kathy's in the Weather Center with a first look at your forecast. Hey.
I was watching Noel there on the escalator, and he was so smart. You don't grab the railing, you know what I mean? And then you got to put hand sanitizer on right as soon as you get off of that thing.
Don't touch anything.
No, don't touch anything. You know, it's a beautiful day. Some of us saw some light snow, a dusting of light snow across areas of Douglas County, Jefferson County, and just kind of get you in the feel and the mood for the holiday. Not enough to really count as our first official snowfall, but it was something. And outside right now, as Alex mentioned, even with the snow around the area, we're not seeing any big travel issues, which is always welcome on a busy Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Nice snowfall up over the Continental Divide, freshening up the snowpack up there. And it was chilly today, 37 degrees at DIA and in downtown Denver this hour. And that cool pool of air continues from the northern Rockies and northern plains right down into Colorado. And we may see additional light snowfall tonight as we have this little second surge coming through as that storm begins to drop to the south. But skies will clear overnight. That will become the big story as we'll look for temperatures to drop into the teens and 20s. We're seeing some of the heavier snow bands west of I-25 and south, Castle Rock, Colorado Springs down to Pueblo. We have had some reports of light accumulation in areas in and around Jefferson County and down toward Douglas County as well, and a couple of snow reports coming in the 2 to 4 inch range above 7,000 feet. So that's always terrific news. Again, the chance for a little more light snow tonight, and then skies will clear and we are on our way to a very cold overnight period. Temperatures are in the 30s now and will stay there between now and 9 o'clock. And in our main weather segment, we're going to talk about a mild weather forecast for Thanksgiving and look ahead to next weekend.
All right, Kathy, thanks. Right now, COVID-19 rates are extremely high here in Colorado. More than 1,500 people hospitalized with COVID-19 in the state. 84% of them are unvaccinated. Now, while Colorado's health leaders are cautiously optimistic that they could be seeing the beginning of a plateau, they say what happens this holiday weekend will make a difference.
Given that we have Thanksgiving this week, with lots of people gathering, I wouldn't be surprised if the rates, after being plateaued for a couple of weeks, start to rise again in another 10 days. So this isn't the time to assume that things are getting better. We have to be vigilant and do all the work that we're doing to reduce case spread as well as protect our hospitals.
So to try to help slow the spread, they continue to encourage people to get vaccinated or boosted if they are eligible. So far, more than 930,000 people in Colorado have gotten a booster shot, and that's 35% of the eligible adults 18 and older. So with Denver's mask mandate now in effect, anyone older than 2 must mask up in any indoor place. That's going to be notable on Sunday because today Empower Field announced that it will be in effect for the Bronco game. Fans will have to wear masks when they're in the restrooms, elevators, and anywhere else that is indoors at the stadium. That mask order will remain in place at least through the new year because it could be extended. It's also a regional approach. Those mask mandates also took effect today in Jefferson, Adams, and Arapahoe counties. Boulder and Larimer counties already had similar orders in effect.
After 10 hours of deliberation, a jury returned guilty verdicts today for the 3 men charged in the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbury. Travis McMichael, his father Greg McMichael, and William Bryan are now facing sentences of up to life in prison. Arbury's mother was visibly emotional as the judge read the verdicts to the courtroom.
I never saw this day back in 2020. I never thought this day would come, but God is good.
While Arbury's family celebrates justice in this case, so are many others in the Black community. Many people didn't know what to expect when this verdict came down. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson sits down with our 9 News legal analyst to discuss the case, the trial, and what's next.
I'd love to know your initial thoughts once you saw that verdict come in.
I think the jury deliberated and considered it and got it right. But also as a person, as a Black man, I also had to reflect and say, how is this such a nail biter based on the evidence?
Some people have called this almost like the 1950s, the modern day lynching of a Black man. It's taking place in southern rural Georgia. You have 3 white men chasing a Black man with their pickup trucks and shotguns.
I think it just speaks to the egregiousness, the impunity in which they can act, and the fact that they got in the truck. It does look like a modern day lynching, and there was still a question if they'd be convicted or not.
Let's go back to that day. None of this would have been captured if it wasn't for William Roddy Bryan Jr. capturing it all on cell phone video. None of the world would have saw what happened that day if it wasn't for that video.
The killing happened in February of 2020, and they didn't bring charges until May after the video came out. is very relevant, and it speaks to where we are in society. But in this case, it was the video that caused them to ultimately bring the charges.
There is still a federal grand jury trial approaching to talk about the hate crime and kidnapping as well in connection to the death of Arbury.
It is good that the federal government can come in and actually bring these charges, bring additional time as well, because the prosecution of these crimes makes a difference. You know, when you have these crimes on the books, people are aware of it, and it does actually have a deterrent effect.
How does this leave you feeling to know that 3 white men have just been convicted of murder against a black man who was unarmed running through a neighborhood?
I think it was the correct verdict based on the evidence. You know, it's just unfortunate that we're still on pins and needles, and we're still sort of evaluating this, not through just a blind justice lens, but from a lens that's tainted still by race.
That federal grand jury trial is expected to begin next year. The 3 men are facing kidnapping and hate crime charges in connection to Arbury's death.